Hello everyone, today we'll talk about the solution to the problem minimum length of string after operations. Really, the essence of this problem is to understand what this operation actually is and how we can simplify it, and when we simplify it the solution will become obvious. Because here there are some very specific things given to us. We have to select an index. This is essentially an index of a character that is neither the first nor the last occurrence of that character in the string. And then we find the closest occurrence of the same character to the left, to the right. We remove those two occurrences. So we see that whenever we have at least 3 characters in a string, then we can remove some of them. And does it matter which ones we remove? Do we have to be smart about it? Well, it turns out we don't have to be smart about it. And probably the easiest way to see it is that whenever we have 2 or 1 or 0 of a character, then certainly there is nothing we can do, because this operation requires 3 different instances. And on the other hand, if we have 3 instances, then we certainly can perform a move. So after we perform a move, we remove 2 instances, and we're left with some other number, which means that if we start with 1 or 2 or 0, there is nothing we can do. And if we have more than that, if we have x, then after our move, whatever that move is, we have x minus 2. And again, either we can make a move or we cannot make a move because we don't have enough letters. So that means that we don't actually have to think about those moves. We only care about our eligibility to make those moves. So really the only thing that we care about is the count of every letter. So we create a counter of s. This is a count of every letter. We'll remember it as a variable counts. And now for every count, so for all the letters, we look at the count of that letter. And we want to be essentially generating a sequence that for 0 gives 0, for 1 gives 0, for 2 gives 0. There is nothing we can save. Now for 3 and 4, we want to return 2. For 5 and 6, we want to return 4, and so on. Because this is, so essentially we can subtract 2 until we fall into the bracket of 2 or less. So one way of doing that is to take v, subtract 2 from it, and then if v is odd, we can also add 1 back. So this is one way of generating that sequence. If there is another way that you would like to write, then of course feel free to do so. If there is some other understanding that would maybe give this exact formula, but in a way that's more understandable, feel free to do so. I just wanted to point out that you actually don't have to understand the formula. You can just write out the few terms, just as I did verbally here, and see what generates it, and you can be done with it, because it's certainly correct in that case. And of course this is the amount that we save for a given letter. We have to sum it over all the letters and subtract it from the original length of the string, because the question is what is the length of the final string that is as short as possible. And this is the whole problem.